Elehe itlahu itlahu itablahu it. Osh lahu it diosilas it. 13 poderes, 13 energías, tu tío de todo.
Yeah, I'm ready. It's been 5 years since I posted on YouTube. I walked away from content creation and living out my dream to do quote unquote the right thing, getting a corporate job, climbing up the ladder. But instead of fulfillment, I felt depressed, stuck, uninspired, and disconnected from myself. So I tried everything, or so I thought. Everyone that knows Bere knows a happy Bere, someone that's go-lucky, that always dances, that will go out of her way for just about anyone. Depression is a silent killer. And it doesn't discriminate. It didn't matter that I had a great job. It didn't matter that I had everything going. Nothing mattered. The best way I could explain it, it's like a veil. It's foggy. You can't really see anything. And you can't really hear anyone. And in a place where I was always filled around people and friends, I felt alone. I tried everything. I tried therapy, medication. Nothing seemed to pull me out of it until I found my way back home. Now, in combination with science, faith, and the homecoming to my ancestral practices, I have found stability. I want to be perfectly clear. I believe in science and I believe in faith. Science couldn't save me. Religion couldn't save me. And despite what I say, it's always going to upset somebody. And quite frankly, those people don't care whether I live or die. And their judgments no longer have dominion over my life. I was diagnosed with ADHD, anxiety, and bipolar type 1. We'll get more into that in later videos. It's time that I discuss. Going back to my roots absolutely saved my life. I've been working on decolonizing my mind for many years, questioning everything that I believe. Is it my belief? Or is it a belief that was put onto me by observational knowledge from my family, friends, peers, religions, the things that I listened to or the lack thereof? This journey took me deep into Guatemala to see a Mayan priest to help me see my life, my journey, and my purpose in ways that I've never seen it before. And what happened in that ceremony, I still can't explain. 6 months ago, I met Edwin. Edwin is a Mayan priest located in San Juan La Laguna. It is a small town within Lake Atitlan. Now, the first ceremony I had with him is a whole different story, but this time around, my cousin and I were working on decolonizing our mind and really focused in on the ancestral practices that religion has so desperately tried to erase. Religious has deemed them evil, and I'm still trying to wonder why. Because after that ceremony, I was in a state of peace for many, many weeks, in a peace that the best way I can describe is the way that you feel the second you wake up, before you start thinking, before you start running around, before you start doing anything. It's the very second you wake up and feel bliss. That's what it was after the ceremony. Because of that peace, now I understand why. We traveled to the lake, and even though I was not born in the country, the land felt familiar. The wind cleared me, and the trees embraced my spirit. For the first time in my life, I was deeply peaceful and overjoyed to embark on this journey without anyone's approval. We took a boat from Panajachel across Lake Atitlan to San Juan La Laguna and hiked into the mountain the first night, where he performed an energy cleansing ceremony. The footage I'm about to show you are ancient Mayan rituals that Christianity has so desperately tried to erase. You will hear Edwin speaking a mixture of Spanish and Sotujil, which is his native tongue, and I'm welcoming you to the exploration of my ancestral practices and why I'm here today.
Nosotros, nuestro idioma materno es el Sotujil, pero ya no es tan nativo, que, o sea, no lo hablamos tan nativo ya.
Ya está mezclado con español.
Español y...
Pero espero que no se olvide.
Sí.
¿Cómo encontraste aquí?
Los abuelos nos trajeron y nos enseñaron. Sí, hay un montón de lugarcitos para hacer este tipo de ceremonia. Sí. Es un tabaco de camela. Si quieren, huelen de camela. Oh, huele rico. Entonces, estos dos lo traje, que no se consigue mucho. Es para ustedes nada más, ¿verdad?
Gracias.
Para hacer la saturación que necesitan. para ver qué energías traen, para ver. Esto es una planta.
Ah, huele
Creo que
rico.
no lo conocen.
No.
Es ruda.
Ah, he escuchado de ruda.
Es una planta que te sirve para bajar los nervios, controlar los nervios.
Ah, mis primas me han contado. ¿Cuántas veces viene acá?
Depende el tratamiento de la persona. Sí, depende mucho.
¿Y el árbol? ¿Qué clase de árbol es?
Es un matasano. Sí. Ese árbol siempre, o sea, su entorno es la piedra. Y la mayoría, cuando la gente ve a un matasano es porque hay un lugar sagrado. Sí, es como una señal de GPS. Shayasha sifahrita, shayasha sifahrinata, tekio karikik, tekio karikamahnata. Tekayari hun katos, tekayari hun presente, shakasho karita, tekio kabit, kio kanumahrinata. Katsu elka, kanuk elka, kachah pehel karita, kanuk elka, epehnak karame ara waspas nakahrinata. Epehnak karita, epehnak karinata, chupan lahtinamit. ¿Qué estado me había dicho?
En California.
Epehnak chupan estado Los Ángeles, California, de Chanata, Estados Unidos. No que kanaka visitar Kashindi nata, no que tsu kahawa. Akabah ni kila kuiritata. No es que camel tan que la kahel tamahatari nata, sino que chomasaki. Tukin hanakun, tukin ha. Te pido en nombre que han descansado en paz, que han retornado en este mundo por nuestros abuelos, abuelas, por nuestros padres y madres, por nuestros hijos, hermanos, tíos, tías, primos, sobrinos. Te pido, Señor, que sean ustedes que nos vayan guiando, nos vayan protegiendo, nos vayan limpiando de todo mal.
Edwin says we first start with clearing the energy center. Many people come up there to do different types of work, so it's important to clear it. Edwin lays out 4 different color candles, explaining that they are parts of our ancestors as well as elements, representing the hair, the skin, our bones, and our blood. He uses tobacco as a method to be able to interpret the energy that surrounds you, and also the messages that you are not receiving. During the ceremony, something very interesting happened. I went into deep meditation, and while I was sitting there, I saw an interconnectedness in my mind. The best way I can describe it, almost felt like a nebula and something else expanding. What I understood from that image is that we are all interconnected. Prior to that ceremony, I had a lot of anxiety. My chest did not stop hurting, and I also had a lot of shortness of breath. Throughout the meditation, I started receiving other visuals. I was thrown inside the waters of Lake Atitlan, and while I laid in the waters, I began to panic because I saw a lot of moving objects or spirits coming towards me. They felt very negative. In my mind, I literally heard, "Stop moving, we're trying to clean you." So I stopped. I felt as if I was being stripped away from the pain, the shame, and the blockages that I've had throughout the years. Once that was done, I was plucked out of the water in my vision and sat next to what I felt was Mayan royalty, a grandfather figure. He then showed me a seed and asked me what I can do with it. I said, "Oh, you just throw it away." He goes, "No, you plant it." And then he whispers, "I need you to understand that you are the seed. The seed needs water, it needs fertilizer, and sometimes needs you to pick out the bugs from it so it can grow. You are trying to grow on your own because you don't know how to ask for help." And that blew my freaking mind.
Te dije la otra vez, es que no puedes apoyar de ti mismo, siempre necesitas apoyo.
Sí.
¿Verdad? Es como que te dio el ejemplo, te dio una semilla. Lo siembras y ya, pero no, o sea, no solo es de sembrar, sembrarlo, cuidar, limpiar, regar, echarle abono, lo que necesitan, insecticida y todo eso, ¿verdad? Entonces, wow.
Wow.
Entonces, es una energía muy, muy poderosa y yo te recomendaría que si pides apoyo, como te sientas muy débil,
Sí. I know that I've had this issue for a really long time. I know that many Latinxers feel the same way. And it's because it's what's been taught to us, right? Let's not ask for help, because if we ask for help, someone can use it against us. Like, it's always been that way, but I'm getting to a clear understanding that I have always nurtured and watered other people's dreams and everything that they're doing, yet I don't ask for help with mine. That was a really big lesson. After I got out of that vision, I felt nothing but gratitude. It was like the veil had been lifted. I was grateful that I was in Guatemala. I was grateful that I was able to travel, grateful that I could even be present in the moment and hear the language that has been erased from us. And to be there with my cousin, it felt magical. Edwin's guidance did something that medicine and religion could not do. My spirit felt at home. And what I mean by that is I spent my whole life in America. This is all I know. I grew up in Los Angeles, but there was something about it. Me being half Salvadoran, half Guatemalan, but also being American while surrounded by other ethnicities, predominantly Mexican, I felt like I never belonged. But in that moment, I felt like I belonged for the first time. Not only that I belonged in a country, but I belonged on earth. I belonged here. So many people are going to be infuriated with me taking spirituality, science, and my ancestral roots as a path to healing. But at the end of the day, it's my choice. And what I do to survive is mine and mine alone. I'm doing this because I know I'm not alone in feeling lost and having that dark veil and that depression that everybody thinks that is a choice, because it's definitely not a choice. It has robbed me from many things. From being who I truly am. And I've lost a lot. Because as much as everyone talks that mental health is important, no one teaches you how to have a conversation with someone that is almost at the brink of death. This experience has changed my life, and I know it's controversial. But if you've ever felt stuck, if you've ever felt lost, I want you to ask yourself, do you truly have the freedom to believe what you want to believe? Or is it what you've been taught? True healing takes courage. The courage to question, to unlearn, and to reclaim yourself. I'm back on YouTube, and this is only the beginning. We're going to talk about it all. I've missed this community so much. From my endo sisters to the story times, to the get readies with me, to the vlogging, to the comedy. I am back, and I am here to fulfill my purpose of speaking without limitations and sharing my story to help others, because I know that is my purpose. I'm so happy to be here. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, and please let me know what you think in the comments. I look forward to connecting with you all. I think it's crazy to hear that and to think we missed out on our ancestral tongue. We missed out on the practices that our great-great-great-grandparents could have taught us because they had to assimilate to the Spanish. It's almost kind of transcendental, at least for me, to hear that language, and my soul is like, we're home.
I was gonna say, it feels like home.
It's almost like the language that my soul speaks.
Yeah.
And it sucks because Sutuhil is an endangered language, kind of like Hawaiian. We'll see what happens. I'm just worried about the backlash that I might get.
Like I said, people are gonna get upset about it, but who gives a fuck about those people? It's not for them, and they're always gonna talk, period.
Yeah.
So when you do good, they talk. When you do bad, they talk.
I don't think that people understand that Latinos, by far the most successful colonized groups, right? Because they believe that they are Spanish, and they believe that they are Christians and Catholics because we were colonized by the Christians and Catholics. So we were ripped away from our language, which prevented people to pass down horror stories on how the Spaniards came, murdered, raped, pulled people apart, enslaved. And because of that, we have individuals today that fully believe that indigenous practices are beneath them, that it's savagery, because that's what European consciousness is, right? That's what United Kingdom wanted to do. That's what the Portuguese did. That's what Los Españoles did. And it's a very sensitive topic to touch on because I'm challenging what they've been taught without knowing that it's because of indoctrination. It's because you needed to assimilate, because if you didn't, you would have died. And it went on like that for so long that unfortunately we don't question it. I tell people all the time, you would not be Christian if we were not colonized by Christians. If we were colonized by any other religion, that's the religion we would be. So do you really have the freedom to decide? Do you really have the freedom to explore? And why look at these people and say they're wrong when, to be quite honest, if we look back at our ancestry, most Latinxers are at least 40% indigenous. So to deny people of their spirituality is also, I think, denying a part of themselves.
But I think because you also, it makes you sad that there's so much history, and if people really only knew, if we were connected to our roots, learn more about it, we wouldn't be in the world that we live in. Like we would stand up for ourselves, especially what's going on with Trump. Mm-hmm. We would be more united. We wouldn't allow that disrespect that's happening. We wouldn't be brainwashed and whitewashed.
It is the ultimate goal of colonialism to convince people that this was the right way, that the Bible was the only way, that our practices was wrong. I was reading a book about how when Europeans came to colonize Mexico, when they went in there, they said they believed it was like the Garden of Eden. That men had long hair, that they wore earrings, that women were naked, that these structures were so beautiful over the water. And they truly believed that it was the Garden of Eden and it was still intact. And that the people were so kind and gave so freely that it was easy for them to be able to manipulate them. And then to still look at this amazing united front where they had order, their spiritual practices, their community, and decide, fuck it, we're gonna steal everything, we're gonna murder everyone, and we're gonna make them ours. It's absolutely mind-boggling to think. And the reason that Latinos don't know about this is, one, they don't teach us this in school, and two, this happened over 500 years ago. How many of us can go back 5 generations and say, my great, great, great grandma said blah, blah, blah? None of us can go back that far. But you know who can? White people